Hello everyone, this is Miss Kaufman. This is for pre-algebra. I'm going to try to go through a couple of these problems with you. What we're doing today is adding and subtracting integers. Now the difference between positive and negative integers is just basically where it's located on the line. Positive is on the right side of the line, negative is on the left side of the line. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it onto the work that we were doing. And let's see if it will go. Okay, there we are. So if you notice here, and just give me some time, I'm not familiar with this software. We have, I tell the students that there are, the best thing that I learned about mathematics was my teacher, my pre-algebra teacher. He told me there was no such thing as subtraction. It was adding negative numbers, and for that has helped me quite a bit. The first thing is that we have the integer 1, and we are having the number 3. So in this case we have a plus sign, and that tells us to go right. Just to let you know that there are many ways to do this. And I may go ahead and make another video to show you another way. So the first thing is we start at the numeral 1. And I'm writing it there. I'm going to go ahead and redo it, and I'm going to do a different color with red. Okay? So that plus sign told us to go to the right. How many? 3. We have learned several ways that in the elementary they've just kind of been taught to memorize. 1 plus 3 equals 4. But why is that? Because we go 1, 2, 3, 3 positions to the right. Okay? Now, there are on the next one, it's as simple, but just a little bit different. We could rewrite this if you want to write it 5 minus 2. That's something you might be a little bit more familiar with. And I am so sorry. It's very hard to write with the mouse on this. 5 minus 2. Again, either way will get us the same number. Why? Because we have the sign follow each other. The positive is in front of the 5, the negative is in front of the 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get my red pen. I'm going to start at negative 2. This is going to tell me to go right once again. I think you guys will get the image that I'm spelling right. And I'm going to go 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we end up at 3. And this is 4, correct? So let's jump down just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And I'm going to move this down just a few problems. Let's go to the 8 minus 2. Again, there is, for me, there's no such thing as subtraction. There's addition of negative quantities. So we start at negative 8, or 8, excuse me. Now, instead, this is going to tell us to go, instead of going left, or excuse me, instead of going right, we are going to go left. Let me get this. I'm sorry. I think these are one of the fundamental things. Once students get it, then their math becomes a lot easier. So it's telling us to go left, how many? 2. So we go here. So instead of thinking that 8 minus 2 is 6, we're learning that why is it 6? It's because it's going into the quantity ratio of 2. All right? Same way here. We start at 5, and we're going left once again. And I started this with my physics kids today, my physical concepts kids. The same thing. So I go, and it's going to end right here. That is 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I might do another video to teach you guys another way to do this. That helps me out. And my unit is 4. Not 4, but -4. So doing this once again, I'm going to clear it. And I'm going to go scroll down. And, oh my goodness, Miss Kaufman, what's happening here? Let's start here. We have -3. That is our starting point. That is our reference point if you're using the terminology with motion. So this starts in the negative portion of the integers, and this is going to tell us to go to the left. All right? What tells us to go to the left? That negative. And I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this too, so you guys can clearly see this. This is how I write it, and you'll see later on that there's a problem very similar to that. 3 plus -5. Got a phone call. Okay, I believe this is where I started last time. So we start at -3. Now, this tells us to go left. This is the same thing that also tells us to go left. How many units? 5. So I end up here, and I'll switch to a red pen. So we're going to the left. 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, I'm going to skip these down here. I want to go to the other one. I want to try to stay under 2 minutes. Go ahead and clear that. Or 10 minutes. So, I had a student today say, what the heck is going on? We have 2 different signs, right? Beforehand, there wasn't that case. So we have 4 plus -3 and parentheses. And the kid was pretty smart and said, whoa, what's going on? And I said, well, what do you think? And he said, to separate them? I said, that's exactly correct. This is how I write most of my math equations. So we have 4. This negative, again, all it tells us is that we're going to the left. Read it like a language sentence instead of jumping the gun. We have 4 units. We're going to the right. We're going to the left. How many? 3. So we'll end up here 3 units. Instead of 4 minus 3, it is 1. Excuse me. Instead of 4 minus 3, it's 4 plus the quantity of -3. And when you start doing really long equations where you have one set of problems and then another set of problems, that is where you could get 2 different possible outcomes, and they have to come together. That's why you have the parentheses. Okay, I'm going to clear that. And I'm probably going to go to about 11 minutes. Okay, so again, this is just similar to what we had before. We have -5. We go 2 units to the left. Why? Because that's what it tells us to do. Over, and we end up at -7. Sorry for my bad handwriting, but I crossed my 7s, across a lot of my 0s, and my 5 and my 3s get a little jumped up. All right. Okay, and I have to clear this. So we're going to start off at -6. Now this tells us to go left or the opposite. This tells us to do our left again, which turns into a right. And so that is 6 minus, those two negatives become a positive. Why? Because we're starting here. It tells us, and I'm going to use two different colors. I'm going to use green and yellow. So it tells us to go left, right? We're supposed to go this. But then that sentence tells us, oh, no, turn around. And we have to go right. And we go 4 units to the right. I'm going to redo that. 4 units to the right. And it ends up, one more time, 4 units to the right. Gosh darn it. One last time, if not. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it ends up right here. Okay? Now, how is these two negatives different than these two negatives? And most of the students can grasp it. See how these negatives are back to back. That's what I refer to it. So if they're back to back like that, they are a positive. Excuse me, let me get a black marker. That becomes a positive. Are these two negatives back to back? No, it's going still to the left direction. So the answer to this one here is actually going to be 9. I want you to think about why is that going to be 9. Give you some time. If you look here, we have the opposite of 8, and then we have the opposite of 8. So we're going left. Left of left is a right, so it becomes a positive, and that is 9. I'm going to clear this. I'm really trying to keep my videos smaller, but there's a lot of information here. So we adding a negative number. Adding a negative number is equivalent to subtraction, like I told you guys, to the okay. I'm going to stop it, and then we can go through this later on. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.